Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to the comedy extravaganza that is The Adventures of E. Strap yourselves in because in this podcast we dive into hilarious personal stories, mishaps, and everyday life. From the awkward encounters at the grocery store to trying to adult in a world that seems determined to trip us up at every turn. So whether you're listening during your commute or just kicking back with a cup of coffee, get ready to laugh until your sides hurt. Here's your host, Elissa.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between. Thank you for coming back for another week, another episode. I also wanted to say, please, for the love of all things holy, go and like our Facebook page, The Adventures of E. We're also on Instagram, and it's The Adventures of E again, right? Correct?
Yep. We're on TikTok.
TikTok.
But the big thing is YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes. So search us up at The Adventures of E. We've got on all of our links for when our audio posts.
Audio and video, yeah.
Yep. We've got links to the YouTube channel. We try and post the actual YouTube videos and whatnot on Wednesdays when we do new releases. So make sure to go check that out, like and subscribe so you can get all the new content when stuff gets sent out.
For any comments, questions, concerns, rants, please also email us at ventures, VENTURES, of E, @gmail.com.
You got it.
Woo! I can even spell, too. I didn't
Look
anticipate
at you
that.
go. Super excited.
For those of you watching, I'm sure you've noticed we have quite a few new additions to the studio.
Well, the big one is the elephant in the room and the helmet.
The helmet.
It has begun. We found it.
Well, we'll get to that. I'll explain what had happened. And also, I got a new ghostie.
Yeah, you got a new ghostie.
It's Harry. I named him Harry.
You named him
I
Harry.
named him Harry.
Okay. All right.
Like Harry and the Hendersons. That's
Okay.
like one of my favorites.
I dig it.
So, as most of you might or may not have remembered, we went on vacation this past week for our anniversary to Tennessee.
Yep.
And my, was it a wild ride,
Yep.
to say the least.
That's,
It is
yeah.
the weirdest experiences I have ever had on any vacation,
Yeah.
let alone ever in Tennessee, happened on this one.
Yeah. Like we had some pretty random stuff go on. Obviously, we also narrowly escaped.
Which we'll get there.
Being flooded in with all the damage and everything from Hurricane Helene that came through. So we'll kind of go into more details as we go through that. But yeah, some of the experiences were really weird. Like a lot of the places that we used to frequent all the time. Well, no, but I mean, like, you know, when as far as the experiences that we had in general.
Our places we go every year.
Yeah, places we go every year, and they weren't necessarily positive experiences this time.
It was very weird.
It was very different from even a year ago when we had gone down with Jeremiah and Amber.
Right.
So it was definitely different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Let's get into that.
Yeah. Get into
Because
it.
what had happened was.
What had happened? Dig into it.
So probably the first weird encounter we had was at an antique store, which is one of our favorite things to do.
Yep.
Because we were all about the hunt, man.
Yep. And we're like 100 years old.
Inside, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was we were in a booth, and I was looking on the left side, and Jason was looking on the right side, and we were both looking at something. Well, I went to tell him or to show him something that I found super cool. I went to turn around, and I like stumbled because I went the wrong way, and there was a guy standing there. And I like kind of tripped and fell. I got my life back together, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get in your way. What I heard was, it doesn't matter anyways. What Jason heard was,
It doesn't matter.
regardless, it happened. And I'm here to tell you, it happened. He turned around and walked away, and I turned the complete opposite way to make eye contact with Jason. And he looked at me and he goes,
Yep.
he just shook his head. Like there was so then we kept going, and like we're walking down the aisle, and like 5 minutes go by, and finally I was like, he said something, and I said, it doesn't matter anyways. And he just looked at me, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And he was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was weird. I've
Yeah,
never had somebody
yeah.
respond like that.
Yeah. Respond. It doesn't matter.
Like I was trying to apologize for being in his way.
Yeah. Yeah. He was just kind
Fuck
of
me, right?
he was just kind of one of those.
He was weird.
He was a douchebag.
He was.
He was
really
a douchebag. He was a BMW driver.
So that started it. Then we went and saw our favorite cigar man,
Yep. Yep.
who
Which I don't even actually know his name.
I don't remember it. I did look, but I don't remember it. But
And he's told us, but
he's a
yeah.
very strange character. He's a very odd duck, and I like it. He's just a good old mountain man
hmm
who owns a cigar shop, tobacco shop.
Who's typically dressed to the nines. I mean, button down, bow tie.
Wears a top hat, like a fancy hat all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, just the epitome of
Dapper.
like dapper mountain man.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you would really put it.
He has had some declining health over the past few years that we've
Mhm.
been down there. So I didn't really know if we would see him or not, but he was there.
Yep.
And then we found out a key piece of information.
A very key piece.
He's a crazy cat guy.
Crazy cat guy.
And they all call him in the store Cat Daddy, which was really fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, so you're a crazy cat man?" And he said, "Yep." And I was like, so then
No, did you remember the comment that I made?
no.
I turned around because I was looking at some Zippo lighters in the corner, and I hear this conversation going on, and I was like, you know, you really should be called Pussy Papa.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, and they started laughing at
Oh,
that.
I didn't hear
Yeah.
that. I think I was trying to get away because the conversation escalated to tell me about a Wendigo,
Wendigo.
which is
Wendigo.
yeah, I can't say it right. A folklore of just a creature that lives in the forest, which we've talked about before, which is why this is so fucking weird.
Right.
So we were talking about that, and then somehow we got caught on El Chupacabra, and then El Chalupa-Cabra.
Yeah.
And I don't
where
even
that-
know what that is, and I didn't look it up because I was just like,
Well,
what
I mean,
the fuck?
you'd find it at Taco Bell. El Chalupa Cabra.
Yeah, they should probably name something that.
Yeah, like make it like super spicy or
That,
something.
or you
The
should
Chalupa
have-
Cabra.
You should have a drink at a bar named that,
Ooh, maybe
And-
we need to make one.
and let drunk people try to say that.
Yeah. If you can say it, you get it for free.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So anyway, that's what happened so far. And then we crossed over to our arts and crafts trail, which we also love because we're 100 years old. And there's a lot of stores missing.
Yeah, a lot of
We
things
were-
had changed.
We were very surprised about that.
But there was a lot of new construction going on, and this is up. If you're not familiar with the Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, kind of
outskirts area.
areas, Townsend, Tennessee, Cades Cove, those types of things. The Arts and Crafts Trail is very much a like mountain man art maker kind of community. Like
Mhm.
it's this 8 mile loop up in the mountains of just these small little craft shops that, you know,
Photographers, painters, like all kinds of
jewelry
things. Yes.
makers,
Just
potters.
some of the most beautiful things you'd ever
Yeah,
see.
and we typically buy artwork or pottery or
We try to.
little things to bring home to have as mementos and memories and
help somebody
and
else
support the
out.
local
Yeah.
arts community down there. But as a lot of people may or may not know, a lot of people are trying to move into the Tennessee area because of a lot of the freedoms and better tax rates and all this other stuff. You've got a lot of people coming from the West Coast that are moving out to the Tennessee area and buying land or building businesses and doing all these other things. So this year was very different because around that arts and crafts trail, you had a lot of new businesses popping up. You had a
Mhm.
lot of
New shops.
new construction,
Mhm.
container homes, people, just all kinds of construction going on,
Yeah.
right? So continue on with where you were leading this.
So we were actually looking for one of our favorite photographers
Mhm.
because we've started a gallery wall up our stairway, which is 2 stories open,
Yep.
of photography from different places that we've been.
Right.
And he's gone. He's just no longer there. So we're checking out all the stores to make sure, well, maybe he's moved, maybe he went somewhere else, whatever. Well, we walk into a shop, which we've been in there before,
hmm
and the lady who owns the shop starts talking to us. It's fine.
Yeah, we try and be super like friendly with everybody. Everybody's super nice down there typically.
Let me tell you, first of all, we are the only people in this store
Yes.
with her. And it is also raining outside. So we are one of the few crazy people that are out in the rain. we start talking to her about maybe like what we were looking for. We were looking for him or photography in general, and she goes on a 10 to 12 minute rant
Oh yeah, an
about
absolute tirade.
how what is it? People are opening up shops, but really it's all manufactured bullshit.
Yeah, they're importing stuff from China and trying to pawn it off as locally handmade and all this other stuff.
And then gave us a map and marked it all up. And
Yeah.
then we got a brief history lesson. And let me tell you, I really did want to buy some things in there. But at this point, I was so uncomfortable and awkward
She was aggressive.
that I just wanted to get out.
She was aggressive.
And she wouldn't leave me alone. She kept following me. I'm like, bitch, like, I don't know what you think I'm going to do.
Yeah. No, she was overly aggressive. And I get it. You know, you've been in the community
She
for
was passionate. I get
30 some
that.
years. And I respect that. But, you know, like, it was just a lot.
It was weird.
Like, it was really excessive for what it was.
wasn't just like passionate. It was like,
It was like somebody had personally attacked her.
yeah, it was like borderline, like freaky weird.
Yeah. Not fun.
No. And Jason just keeps talking to her, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up, man.
Well, I was trying to talk to her to lead her away from you.
And I just kept going, yeah,
You were like, awkward.
yeah. So that's what happened.
It was a little awkward.
It was very awkward.
And then when we started to walk out, it's almost like she started talking to herself.
Yes, she just kept going.
Yeah.
She didn't stop.
Yeah,
And I
she
was
like
just
turned around and turned a corner, and we were walking out the shop, and she just kept going.
And then there's like that awkward moment where you didn't buy anything and you kind of feel guilty too. But thank God 4 little old women were coming in, and I held the door open for them. And I was like, yes, please come in.
Yeah. Take over.
Bye.
Take over. Tabbing out.
And we left.
Tabbing out.
Yep.
So all right. Obviously the elephant helmet in the room. First piece of gear.
So what happened is I actually spotted it from across the room.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys haven't seen the pictures or you're not watching this on YouTube, it is 70s gold glitter.
And it's beautiful.
So I picked it up and I was laughing because it's old as fuck, but it still had the original tag on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jason, look for Mario Kart. And he goes, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, simmer down, hot sauce. I don't even know what the price tag is. I looked at the price tag. I told him. He was like, I don't give a fuck. We were going to buy it anyway. And I was like, I don't even know if it fits. He was like, well, try it. My ear gets caught. I start to panic. Get it on, and it fits.
Yep.
It fucking fits.
With your messy bun.
Yeah, with a messy bun and everything. So
And it fit.
he was like, sold.
Done.
So we walk up to go pay. And the whole time I'm like carrying it under my arm like a weirdo with a metal chicken in it that I bought. Don't ask.
Yeah.
And so
It's the first Beyonce.
the lady up at the register was talking to us.
And she was a younger woman.
She was young.
Yeah.
And she said something. And I looked at him. They said 123 or something. And I said, my total is $123. I only got 2 things. Jason's like, no, Elissa, that's how much the pop is that we're buying. And I was like,
$1.23.
oh. And so the girl looks at me and I said, we have a podcast. This will probably be on there. Here's the card.
And she started looking us up while we were standing
and
there,
I was
which
like,
was cool.
I didn't anticipate that. I just got awkward and didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, you were like, here's a card. Gotta go. And then you were like, Jason, just pay.
So,
Pay so I can leave. Pay.
so Jason gets this brilliant idea that we're going to have a photo shoot
Yes.
with said helmet. And
Yes.
this is what I said. Ladies, I know you will understand. I said, Jason, you need to get the right angle because I don't need to have more chins than I already have. He was like, no, I got this. I'm going to shoot up. And I'm like, no. As a woman, I know better. You have to shoot downwards. And he like look up a little bit. He's like, no, I got this. I got this. So at this point, I'm just going to appease him. And I just go with it. I'm like, okay.
The pictures
Oh my
are
God.
phenomenal. Everybody that listens to this podcast, tell your friends, tell your family. I mean,
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
hide your kids, hide your wife. I don't care. Get them on the Facebook post. Tell them to comment and tell her how badass she looks. I'm not kidding. Because, and here, I understand conventional photography techniques. I do. All right.
Because he's Dougal, guys.
But there is a reason why I shot up.
What, so you could see all the way up my nose into my brain?
No. So you could present a level of regalness. Regal. Okay,
Because
everybody
I'm so fucking regal.
with that helmet and those fucking gold Oakleys on,
The helmet is what did it, eh?
regal as fuck. All right, and it was meant to be looking up at you because people worship you.
Oh.
You are the
Oof.
pinnacle. You are the pinnacle.
Okay, you're too much. We've switched roles. This is weird. I don't like
Hey,
it.
I'm trying to boost you. I'm trying to put you up there.
Put me on a pedestal?
Yeah.
On a racing pedestal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming in first, up on the top.
Coming in hot.
I got the milk. We're shaking it up.
Ew. I don't like milk. Let's do champagne.
All right, popping bottles.
Yeah, let's do that. So Jason conveniently left out of here. What was I going to say now?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Oh, you got distracted. Do we need to circle back?
No, yeah.
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 No, yeah. Okay.
There was something I was going to tell them.
Was it about the photo shoot or anything along those lines?
I don't remember now.
No. Okay.
Shit.
Well,
Sorry, guys.
let's move on to the next one, and this one's more of a me thing because when we go down there, we typically will shop these antique places and go hunting because Elissa has a collection of Pyrex. She collects Pyrex,
I do.
vintage.
And that comes from my great grandma gave me, excuse me, Pyrex. My grandma always cooked with Pyrex. Jason's grandma gave me Pyrex.
Yep.
Like, I love Pyrex.
Yeah.
And it's just become a fun
Well,
thing.
hobby.
I like to collect, but I use everything I buy.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah,
There's
I
certain
don't-
stuff
I
that's super
don't-
delicate that we don't.
Yeah, but for the most part, I don't baby anything. I use almost everything. I bake with it, whatever.
Yep.
But
Yep.
because like grandma chic has come in to play, Pyrex is sky high.
Yeah, especially here in Indiana. And that's why we would always shop for it down in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Now, when I say that things were different at a lot of the antique places that we went to, we actually didn't buy anything at
Mm-mm.
pretty much every single antique place that we've always gone to historically, been able to find really cool pieces or
At a decent
at
price.
decent price, cool Pyrex pieces at a really decent price, sometimes even a bargain, a steal,
Mhm.
But this year, they were
It was
retail
terrible.
and above, like more expensive than here in Indiana. And I started
Jason
thinking to
decided
myself,
to blame it all on me.
well, and here's why. Because at the checkout, every time over the past 8 years, prior to this year, over the past 8 years that we've been going to Tennessee in this area, when they ask why we're buying so many pieces of Pyrex, Elissa chimes up and says, oh, well, it's so much cheaper down here than it is up in Indiana. These prices are amazing. That's why I buy it down here.
And now all of a sudden prices are high. So Jason's like, this is all your fault. And I'm like, oh, right.
Because after 8 years of going to the same places with the same people, eventually they're going to catch on.
No, it's because it's become popular. Because everything vintage right now is popular again for whatever reason. And I need y'all to quit fucking buying it so I can get it again at a decent price. And let me tell you, the jadeite down there was fucking
Jesus.
sky high expensive.
I've never seen.
I looked
shit
at
like
him
that
at one point and I said, fuck you, and
Yeah.
walked away.
Yeah, no. Hard pass.
$95 for like a cup and saucer.
Yeah, which is just absurd.
It really is.
Absurd. Like, just get on eBay. You can buy it cheaper.
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense. So, yeah, that was kind of something that I had kind of pointed out. I'm still going to go on the belief that,
That's all my fault.
you had cornered the market and pushed it in that direction. You are like JP Morgan Chase in the Pyrex world when it came
Right.
to Tennessee.
Right.
You made the market shift.
The last day that we were actually there, I did finally strike gold.
Yeah.
Literally.
But
and
we-
figuratively.
But we went to a completely different area
yeah.
that we had never explored before, never been to. Dandridge, Tennessee, Newport, Tennessee, Sugar Fork area.
And I actually finally got some
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Finally got quite a few things,
Mhm.
really, which was pretty neat, and some stuff that you've not seen before, and some kind of specialty stuff.
If anybody's old like me and they like Pyrex and you want to see my collection, I'll show you.
Yeah, well, we can do a photo
show
shoot.
and tell.
We can do a photo
I'm
shoot.
not doing a photo shoot. We can do a show and tell. That's all I got.
Oh, God, you're not fun.
I'm not fun anymore.
God, killing me.
So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Okay, where are we skipping to?
So we stayed in a beautiful house
Absolutely
on the lake.
gorgeous. Yeah.
On the lake.
3
Beautiful.
stories,
Yeah,
side
3
of a
stories.
mountain.
It was just us. It was beautiful. Until we really got there and we really like got in there. There was no insulation. You could hear literally every noise from
Yeah.
every direction.
This is like that slapped together Lincoln log style building. So it's, the wood beams that are notched and pre-cut at a manufacturer. And then you're supposed to put a bunch of insulation in between the seams when
They
you
did
pop them
not.
together. I don't think they did.
So I also am obsessed with spiral staircases. Have been forever, but I've never been on one. This house,
Which surprises me.
yeah, this house had not one but two,
Going all the way up from
and
the
it
bottom
was
floor to the top
terrible.
floor.
It was absolutely terrible. I will never do it that again.
And I tried to warn you.
I think those though were really like I can't talk today. Prefabbed, and they were like super pushed together. Does that make sense?
No, I mean, most spiral staircases are built like that.
I don't know.
I
But
mean,
it was
unless
not
you get
fun.
an old one that's welded and built in place.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, this was one that was bolted together.
Yeah, and it shook the whole time you were on it.
Oh, yeah.
It made all kinds of weird ass noises, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking plummet to the basement here.
Literally.
Yeah, and so anyway, there was no blinds on the main level at all
Which, okay.
for these giant ass windows, which is not necessarily okay for me because I'm weird and I believe in all that like folklore about like you shut your blinds as soon as it's dusk and you don't look outside and yada yada yada. Anyway, the upstairs bedroom had it had blinds in it, but it was all windows on one side that faced the lake, which was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it was
And
like
we left
8
them open.
huge floor-to-ceiling windows. Yeah.
Until you get in the bathroom. And there's a beautiful, beautiful freestanding tub. I couldn't wait to take a bath in. I didn't do it. There was the biggest picture window in front of the bathtub that faced the lake that was open. And then there was a balcony right outside said window with no fucking blind.
Yep.
Who does that?
Like a 6 foot by 6 foot wide open window
with no blind.
with no blind, no nothing. So you have to be really voyeuristic and comfortable.
I'm not.
But the interesting part is the whole bathroom. Like, you could be in the shower. Like, I took showers in there.
I did too, but I turned out the lights.
And see, I didn't turn off the light.
I'm a weirdo.
I didn't give a shit. I'm
There
like,
was some guy in, like fishing down there when I was taking a shower, and I'm like, first of all, sir, if you're that desperate to look at this, I guess it is what it is. But I did turn out the light because it wasn't necessary. It was so bright in there.
right. Yeah. No, it was really interesting.
It was fucking weird, is what it was. I didn't even take a bath in the tub because of that.
I know. And it was a nice tub.
It really was.
Nice, big soaking tub.
Except for it moved.
It was freestanding.
But isn't that shit supposed to be like bolted down or glued down or something?
No, not a freestanding tub.
I
Not
can't.
typically.
I cannot be responsible for that because I would end up running into it, which is what I did. Knocked it, like I hit it, and it moved a little bit, and
yeah.
that's how I found out it was not bolted down.
Yeah, most people don't run into them. That's why they don't.
I have bad eyesight. What do you want from me?
Move around. Oh my God.
So the last 2 days we were there, it rained the whole time.
Yeah.
Which we had no idea about the hurricane coming in.
We kind of did. We knew
But-
of the
Yeah, we didn't
storm,
really
yeah.
know to the extent. So, Friday? We were supposed to leave. We were supposed to leave Friday.
Yes, we were supposed to check out and leave the Airbnb Friday morning.
So, Thursday, we were going to go out and go to these little towns like we told you, and I got Pyrex. And little things started happening. I believe in coincidences,
Mhm.
but at some point in time, there's so many coincidences that it's not a coincidence.
Something's trying to tell you something.
Yeah, so that's kind of what had happened. So Thursday we woke up. We kind of talked about the situation of the rain because it had been raining now for 2 days nonstop. And thank God they had just drained a little bit off the lake, so it wasn't rising
'Cause
yet.
where we were staying, Douglas Lake, the Army Corps of Engineers, they control the water levels for the winter months, and dam it and whatnot. So the water level drops about 15 feet below average.
Thank God,
Yeah.
right? Because so then we started talking, and the second day there was a lot of trees down, and we were like up in the mountains, like there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Well, then Brenda calls, and she's like, "I'm worried about you guys making it home," and So we just kind of are like, well, we're watching the situation, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And we really were.
Yep.
Go to a couple of our stores, and then what else had happened? Like some weird things that just started happening.
We went into an antique shop and the radio was playing, and
Oh, yeah.
this was in a new area that we had gone to, and we had met these really cool folks that we're actually closing up shop for the winter months, essentially.
That were super nice. His
Yeah.
name was Jamie. Shout
Yeah.
out to Jamie at Volunteer Creek.
Yep.
Antiques.
Antiques. Yep. And he was like, "Here, I don't want to pack this shit up, so here, you take it." Just gave us free shit.
Sold me some Pyrex dishes, super fucking
Yeah,
cheap.
like just super cool, super nice. But they were listening to the radio and obviously listening to the weather forecasts and those types of things. And they kept talking about flash flood warnings, and they kept talking about, 50-mile-an-hour winds
that's
coming
what I
in.
heard next.
And we had already started to notice that, just the weight and saturation from the rain, in the mountains, a lot. We had sat on the back patio and heard trees snapping around us at the lake. So you add in 50-plus-mile-an-hour winds, and it's like, okay, we had already seen some trees that were kind of already down across the roads, and in our way, we had to go around. So we were like, all right, we just need to be more attentive to that and whatnot. And then as the day progressed, the rain kind of progressed and got more aggressive and heavier. So we just kind of looked at some different things and started talking a little bit more about potentially coming home earlier.
Well, and we looked at the way the storm pattern was coming, and it had shifted a bit to come indirectly in where we were at.
Yeah.
And so that
much more aggressively
was
where we were at.
also a conversation where we were like, and I looked at Jason, I said, I hate to do this, but I think we need to leave. Like, we need to go home today.
Yeah.
And I
The
said,
night before. Yeah.
I said, the reason is too many things have happened that are kind of making me question, like, should we still be here? Like, what are we doing? And so we got home really late Thursday night.
About 10:30, 11 o'clock. Yeah.
And Friday morning we woke up to that dam had broke.
Yeah, the northern end of Douglas Lake, it had been overwhelmed, and the dam had broken, and essentially it came down into the basin and come down into Dandridge, come down into Newport, and there was a picture that came across that they took in Newport where we had literally been at 1 o'clock the day before.
And it's all underwater.
And it's under like 4 or 5 feet of water. And these little shops and this town was, kind of, I don't want to say it was destitute, but it was definitely a working class town. It was, you had a lot of shuttered buildings, old architecture, but they were trying to revitalize, a little coffee shop we went into, a couple
super
little
adorable
shops. Yeah. I mean, it was a super cool spot.
Excuse me.
And literally the picture that I saw was where we had parked on a corner and walked around the corner to go into a shop, and the water level was almost up to the top of the doors.
Yeah.
And, when we were in there when it was raining, like they had leaks in the roof and all
Everybody
kinds
did, yeah.
Everybody seemed to have leaks in their roofs and water everywhere, and it was just a struggle, and it was unfathomable to really think that less than 24 hours later, it was gone, and it will be gone for the foreseeable future.
Well, not just that, but we saw that as well as like Wares Valley is completely submerged and how bad it is. There was I-40.
Yeah,
Lost
washed
a
out.
whole piece of
Washed
road,
out.
and then North Carolina now is just
Asheville, you can't.
they're
It's
just by
completely cut
themselves.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know by the time this episode releases, this will kind of be yesterday's news, but this is something that just happened a few days ago, essentially for us. But yeah, it was very interesting to see just how quickly everything happened.
And I also want to put out there that our hearts literally go out to the people who are living in this and dealing with this, and in North Carolina and Tennessee and Florida and other states. Like, our thoughts are with you.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, that's honestly, our hearts are kind of down there in Tennessee. That's why we always continue to go back to the same places and explore around those areas. And the fact that, that area that we do love so much has been essentially demolished.
Yeah.
it really sucks.
It's absolutely heartbreaking.
And we're thinking about everybody down there.
Absolutely. So that kind of happened. So we got home early from that. And then what happened?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I didn't know if anything good happened after that.
Oh, there's all kinds of good things, especially the drive home, because I found something interesting out. Okay. You told me at random that you play a little game when we're driving somewhere.
Jason got a really, not that he doesn't already know how my mind works, but he got a really interesting glimpse into how it works when, like, nobody knows, like, what I'm thinking, obviously.
Yeah.
So I play a game now. I have for years in my head. Obviously, I don't usually say anything out loud. When he gets to really, like, skipping songs, I like to guess if he's going to skip or stay before he does it. And so the other day, he kind of got me because I was laying on the console and I looked up at him and I was like, "You're not going to skip it?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "Why?" And I was like, "I was just wondering." He's like, "No, why?" I'm like, "I play this game." And he's like, "What?"
I was like, "Do what?"
Yeah. So that's what happened.
Yeah. But how often do you play the game? I didn't really ask you.
It just depends on how bored I am, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know there'll be times like, because I use CarPlay and Pandora and listen through my phone and whatnot. And it's real easy to just, skip,
And
one
we
after
pay.
another.
We pay for ours,
Yeah,
so we can skip unlimited.
Yeah. And I'd be interested to know how often, that kind of happens with you. Because there'll be times where I'll skip like 10 songs in a row. And then other times where I'm just like, skip one, and I'm like, okay.
I don't know. I'll have to watch that now.
You'll have to watch that now?
Yeah. And then I said to him, I just saw a video. We were driving home. I said, I saw a video of Florida. And there were 2 sharks. They caught a video of Florida of 2 sharks literally swimming down a road that was flooded.
Yeah.
And I was like, imagine this. You're living in Florida and you're living with the shitstorm that is a hurricane. You smell like a fart cloud, okay? Because that's what a flood smells like. We know.
Yep. Firsthand.
And then you're walking down the street and you get bit by a shark. Like, suddenly, like, this is a whole new fear unlocked. And you want to talk about some Final Destination bullshit.
Well, not only that, think if they bite you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they don't take the leg, okay? But you're in nasty flood water and you get an infection.
And now you're infected.
And it's just, and you have no way to get to medical care quickly or anything along those lines. Like, everything
You're
gets
going to lose
septic.
that leg.
Like, you going to die today.
You're going to lose that leg.
Yeah. Like, it's
that
bad.
sucks, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's awful. That's what I think of. These are the things I think of.
Yeah, like, how fucked up would that be? Literally, you walk out on your front porch and you're like, oh, there's a shark.
There goes my leg.
Yeah, like, that's just absurd.
My leg.
Yeah. Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
Literally.
Yeah. So, yeah, hard pass on living down there. I think I will pass on that.
No.
No.
Not so much.
Nope, I don't need it. It's already bad enough to think that, gators could come flowing up or something along those lines. All right, fine, they'll sneak up and snatch you. But a shark, that's just, nope. They should stay in the ocean.
It's wild. It's wild down there.
Yeah, no thank you.
So I was watching TikTok the other night and I saw a video of a girl. It was a TikTok that somebody else was talking about, but it was like multiple people were talking about the same girl.
Okay.
She's in Florida. I think it was Panama City. I don't know.
Shout out Panama City Beach. We love you.
We love that too.
Yeah, we love it down there.
And she decided that her and her dog were going to stay. They were not going to evacuate. They were going to stay during the hurricane. And there's literally a TikTok of her going over to her neighbor's house to party on a boat. And her and some guy are talking about how, the neighbor's dead. They just pulled her out of the water. And everybody's still continuing to party, right?
Wow.
Yeah, like it's brutal, right? And everybody's now demanding to know where her dog is to see if her dog's alive. And it's just, like, it's nuts, right? Like, that's crazy. Just to be like, oh, yeah, my neighbor's dead. I pulled her out of the water. No biggie.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, bro?
Like, what kind of fucked up shit have you had to see prior to that? To just be like, it is what it is.
Yeah, we got a floater over here. Go back to party.
We got a floater.
Yeah. Where are the shots at?
So, speaking of TikTok, I stumbled across something new.
I don't know whether to be scared.
It's Who's Your Mom Talk.
Who's Your Mom Talk?
Yeah. And they all have these videos that are like, it's the voiceover of like, do you want to have an alliance with me? And it's all the women, right?
Mhm.
And I got sucked in. I don't know why. I totally got sucked in. And on one of the videos, I was like, I'm going to talk about this on my podcast. And suddenly had like 15 more new followers. Who's Your Mom Talks freaking cult. And I'm here for it.
So you joined a cult
I
over
did.
the last evening?
I did on
Okay.
accident.
Okay.
I wanted to tell you about one more thing.
Okay. Tell me about one more thing.
And I'm sorry, I have to pull up TikTok to get there, but now I'll wait. There is a guy, a hairdresser, specifically, hairstylist, I'm sorry, out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, who posted a video on, I guess this was last week sometime,
Mhm.
about how he owns his own salon and he just finally was like, I need help. I'm afraid my business is failing. I've never said this out loud. Like, I'm a gay hairstylist, you know, who is autistic, et cetera, and I'm afraid that my business is going to fail, and I don't want it to fail. And he's out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, right?
Mhm.
I like the video. I am a strong supporter of anybody local business.
Right, for sure.
And I put on there, I'm going to talk about this on my podcast. So I started following this guy because the next video, he was so thankful and crying and just overwhelmed with how much
How much of a response
everybody
you got? Yeah.
really came together, and his books are booked now because of people.
Nice.
And he was like, you know, so scared to come on here and say, I'm afraid my business is failing, but you all came through. Like, I should have done this a long time ago. I appreciate everybody. And I was just going to mention him too, because shout out to him for like using his resources and being like, I don't want to fail at my business, but I don't know what else to do. So I'm going to be raw and honest and put myself out there.
Right.
Kudos to him.
Yeah. And honestly, that's what we have seen, and I think a lot of people are seeing right now, is the raw, honest, real life
A small
stuff
business.
of small businesses, of personal lives, of all kinds of
Mhm.
different things. That's what's getting people to engage with it because it's real.
It's honest.
It's not photoshopped, it's not built, it's not, anything
and you
choreographed.
can't- and
It's
people who are like, oh, you have to keep your work life and your personal life separate. I get that to a certain extent.
Mhm.
Because we're all human.
Yep.
I can't help it sometimes. I've went to work and my personal life has bled into my work life and I've been, upset, but also that's what makes me me. That's what makes me care. That's
Right.
what, makes me more relatable to
it happens,
people.
yeah.
And I think I praise anybody who can do that. Because that takes a lot of fucking guts to be like, my business
Yeah.
might fail. It broke my heart for him, but I will say the comments, though, were awesome. And everybody in those comments, I don't know y'all, but I love y'all because people from Noblesville were like, I'm coming next week. I have an appointment on Wednesday with you. I can't wait to meet you.
Like, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're going to drive an hour and a half to come
help
up
somebody.
to help somebody. Yeah.
Who is he has to be good at his job or he wouldn't own a salon and
He wouldn't have been in business this long
exactly,
if he wasn't good.
Exactly. And he's younger.
Yeah.
So, and he's talking about how, like in the first video I saw, how his mental health was not doing great. And I'm like, I praise you even more for that because it's such a taboo subject.
Yeah. Yeah. To own it and just to throw yourself out there.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's that raw honesty. That's what's key.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's,
Which is what we try to do
yeah,
every week.
it's good to see.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Even for somebody like me, who's a natural oversharer
Mm-hmm.
and usually doesn't care what people think, for the most part,
For the most part. Yeah.
it's still hard.
Yeah.
It's sometimes hard every week to do that. So kudos to him.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's just
Well, maybe
been so thankful.
maybe you need to book with them for your next hairdo.
Well, no, we're not there. I have somebody who's local.
Okay.
But no, I just
Now you support her. Does she support us? Is she a follower?
yes, she does. She
Okay.
follows and she
All right, bet.
listens
Awesome.
and she likes.
Then you
and-
keep going to her.
Then it's okay with you.
Then it's okay. I am good with
Jason's
it.
like, I approve now.
Yes, I fully approve.
You fully support.
Yeah, it's mutual support. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Building a community, building business up, building each other up. Yeah.
And that's I've talked about it before on my soapbox, and I'm gonna do it again.
Are
'cause
we
I
getting
don't-
up on a soapbox?
I don't give a shit. it is so important to me to support small business
Mhm.
as much as I possibly can. It really is.
Yep.
So that's all I got.
Oh, that was a quick soapbox.
I know. It
Yeah.
wasn't. We weren't going to be there for a long time or anything.
Yeah. Well, speaking of small business, like, when are we going to make shirts? Like, we really need to start doing that because we've had people ask about it.
Have we?
Yeah.
I'll get on that.
Yeah.
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
Because, I mean, even my boss has said something about it, especially the DDC, the
We
Dead
meet
Dads
never.
Club. Yeah.
We meet never.
She's down to get a shirt that's got that badge,
DDC on it?
that logo on it.
I will get on that.
So I'm just saying, I know we've had some
No.
interest.
Trying to get out of vacation mode,
I
get back
know.
into work mode,
know.
which I'm dreading. No offense, but I am.
Like, I love my job, but I don't want to go back to work.
I like my job. I don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
Why can't I just be independently wealthy?
I'm working on it.
Make it happen quicker, Jason.
God, it takes time.
Oh my God, I can't stand you.
I know. Well, on that note,
Are we done already?
yeah, we've already come to time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about all the things and the vacation, and I'm sure we'll touch on some other things on next week's episode. And
I'm sure we will.
we'll remember some things and be like, "Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about this." And
Yeah.
yeah, it happens because we've slept and forgotten
Yeah.
things. It's part of
Have we
getting older.
talked about, did we already talk about the article? Because
Yeah.
it came out sooner than we thought. and
Yeah,
all
we had
that.
talked about it on the previous episodes.
Y'all, I also got reached out by 2 more magazines.
Yeah, that is huge.
Isn't that crazy?
And a
TV station.
A TV station reached out.
Who was a dick afterwards, but that's neither here nor there.
Eh. I mean, TV
You-
producers.
You win some, you lose some. What are you going to do?
I mean, we're dicks. I mean, producers are dicks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I had to throw the joke out
Yeah,
there.
you did.
God. So, but no, thank you everybody for following, liking, sharing, subscribing, all the things. We really do appreciate the support from everybody. We
Thank
are really
you.
excited for continuing to do this because guess what? This is our 30th
Is it
episode.
really?
This is our 30th episode. And I haven't fully put it in place. Yeah, I'm
he
gonna wag the
he
finger.
got the finger out,
I'm
y'all.
gonna wag the finger. We've talked about trying to do a live podcast, like a live stream. And I think I want to try and do it for the 50th episode.
Okay.
So I think in time, we'll have to try and build that up and we may have to get some resources and figure some things out and try some things. But
I can't wait, guys.
yeah. But could you imagine like if we had a huge panel with everybody?
We don't even have enough room for that.
We would actually probably have to move to a different location for the live one if we had everybody. So, but we have a bigger space that we can use.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So we can figure that out. We'll figure that out.
We've talked about moving,
Yeah, we've talked about moving and growing the podcast studio.
but we haven't got there yet.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet.
So anyway,
Anyways, yeah.
we really got on a tangent. Sorry.
Yeah,
about that.
we just went,
Boop, 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 boop.
yeah, and a banana peel.
Banana peel.
That's all, folks.
All right, guys. Thank you again for coming back. I'm sure next week we will have a whole much other bullshit to talk about. Oh my God! Remember when I was talking about J-Lo and how she writ it?
Oh, yeah.
We'll
She
have to
didn't-
come back to that.
Yeah, she didn't write a song. She writ it.
Yeah,
So, yeah. Note it. Note
yeah,
it.
I will.
So we can circle back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that, oh my God, I cannot talk. With that, we're gone. Bye.
Bye.
We out.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Make sure to share and like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Adventures of E and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@Adventures of E. See you next time.